3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. This is my co-host, Stan the Man. This is today's comic. Here's a dog going out the dog door, making a bunch of noise because that's how it works on this show. Don't much care for the new trade dress, but I do really like this comic. This is the 4th issue of the current Arkham Knight storyline. 4.5 if you count issue 1000, which has a little short story kind of introducing the character. I believe also this is the story has the first appearance. 1001 was the first full appearance. Issue 1000 will technically be the first actual appearance of this Arkham Knight. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone has information otherwise. This should be a short review, but I don't know. I say that, I try that a lot. Oh, God. Really? Really? Let's advertise a comic that we canceled like months ago. Spend your advertising space on Hawkman. By the way, hashtag read Hawkman. You guys should be reading Hawkman. It's even better than Detective Comics. And that's saying something. This new artist, Brad Walker, is really growing on me. I thought he was a fill-in artist. Doug Menke, I don't know how to pronounce that right, was doing the art on the previous arc leading up to 1000. So I thought this guy was going to be a fill-in artist, and I was like, oh, okay, he's a decent fill-in artist. Sergeant Bats did a video, and he really likes this artist. And I have to give props to, I forget which issue it was that he did, but watch all of his videos. He talked about the art and things that he liked about it, and it made me reevaluate my particular stance on the artist, and he's really growing on me. So if he is the normal artist, I will be happy because I'm very much enjoying what he's doing. So we start off, if you haven't been following the story, Arkham Knight, if you haven't been following the story, what are you reading this for? Go back to issue 1001 and start. This is good. Peter Tomasi is writing the best Batman book out there. Buy Detective Comics. Detective Comics is still about 20,000 issues a month shy of Batman. And I don't get that. If you're a Batman fan, there are 2 Batman books, one called Batman and one called Batman Detective Comics. You should be buying this book. If you're only buying one Batman book, this is the Batman book you should be buying. Especially, it's a perfect jumping on point at 1001 or even 1000. Perfect jumping on point. If you like Batman, this is the good book. This is the book where Batman is fun. If you buy both books, well, okay, then you're a Batman fan. That's fine. I don't understand why 20,000 people buy Batman and not this book, though. I don't get it. And I think my belief is that it has to do with people picked up Batman. It started off fantastic with Rebirth. So you got lots of people. Batman used to sell even better. It used to sell like 100, 120,000. Now it sells about 80. And I think you got a lot of people that jumped on are collecting. And if you're a collector, you understand it's hard to jump off. I'm buying Batman and I can't stop. I don't have an interest in reading it, but I just still buy it every 2 weeks. 2 weeks, jeez. Because I'm a collector and I like Batman. I want Batman to be good. And so I just keep getting the books. I get that. And I didn't used to get Detective. I used to be one of those people, but when Brian Hill jumped on, I was like, I'm going to get Brian Hill's arc because I just want to read it. And it was so good, it kept me staying with the book. So this new character, Arkham Knight, was introduced, and it's a spoiler alert, sorry, it's a she, if you haven't got this part, is Arkham's daughter. And this whole book is her origin. And it's done kind of what reminds me of Jeff Johns' style with a lot of narrative text and just sort of like, let's go through the history. And this is both good and bad. It's good because we don't get 4 or 5 issues devoted to this, like drawn out thing. It's one issue, boom, you get all the origin you need. But it's bad because this is not what comics do best, right? Just narrative, expository text with some images. This is not why we buy comics. However, like Jeff Johns, who does it just once in a while when it's needed, Tomasi doing the same thing, this is the first book out of 10 where he does that. And I'll tell you what, I'll take a book like this that's full of this, that gives me a ton of background story that I need, over 20 issues of Superman that go nowhere, right? Because Bendis we still know less about Rogol Zaar over 20 issues than we now know about Arkham Knight in this one issue. This is fantastic. So they got the scroll and they're talking about it. And I'm not really going to go over this history. I'm going to encourage you to pick up the book and read it. I'll flip forward through some of the pages, and I guess if you're really anal about not buying the book, you can pause them and read them yourself, I guess. But it's a fascinating story. It's not the best origin story in the world, but I liked it. Suffice to say, sum up is Arkham Knight is the antithesis of Batman. Batman is the Dark Knight. She is like the Light Knight. She wants to illuminate the shadows, bring out the darkness, and she is motivated by the death of her mother, just like Batman is motivated by the death of his parents. And you can see, like, she's training, she's determined. So she has this sort of we recognize in her some qualities that make Batman who Batman is, the same type of qualities. She blames Batman for the death of her mom. And I'll let you read the book for all the actual facts and details. And it's pretty interesting. It's a very quick synopsis of her history, which is good because that allows other writers to dig deeper and add more detail. Whereas if you write a super descriptive, 6-issue detailed origin, then future writers are kind of bound within all that. But if you just cover all the bases, then other writers can explore the missing pieces and the little detail points and do more with it. And you as a reader can then go, oh, I didn't know this little piece, and that's all good. Tomasi gives you just enough. You've got 3 issues introducing the character. I didn't know who she was. There's this mystery behind it, what's motivating her. And this issue, the 4th issue, tells us who she is, all of her motivations, what she's doing, what drives her. And there's this fun little bit here where Batman's like, so that explains why Ashard Arkham sees me as a curse hanging over Gotham. Haven't we all at some point? Look at that face. And he looks up at Batman. Batman just glares. Just kidding. Here's an example of how you write the whole comic book is serious, and then you get this one little bit of levity, and it's kind of a goofball comment, and it's done right. I just did a review. I don't know what order I'm going to release them in, but I just did a review of Action Comics 1011 where I critique the opposite, where it's like every page has got to have these quippy comments. And it's even worse than this because this is not written like a sitcom joke. This is written just like normal levity, being funny. Whereas the way Bendis writes things, I feel like it's every comic is an episode of Big Bang Theory. So, anyways, I really appreciated that. So I wanted to point that out. Batman doing a little detective work here. They're in the sub-basement of Gotham. I know people appreciate that. I know some people are really huge on Batman's a detective, damn it. He needs to be detecting all the time. Okay, well, here he's doing some detective work. And I thought this was really cool, too. It'll make more sense if you read the story. But Astrid is out. That's the Arkham Knight. Is out, and she's looking up, and she's like, yes, as the eclipse approaches, it's time to enter our new Citadel of Light. And she looks up, and this is what she sees. I love this paneling. And you couldn't tell this in words as easily as you can show it in pictures. This is what is in actuality, but in her eyes, it's this. And when you understand her history and everything, it's all wrapped up in knights and princesses and, there's a point in the history, it's like, well, don't you want to be a princess? She's like, no, I want to be a knight. So like Batman's kind of wrapped up in the dark bat thing. This is her thing. I thought that was pretty cool. And I liked how it showed her eyes seeing it different. So maybe she's a little bit screw loose as well. And the history also explains why she's got these Arkham patients working with her as her minions. And they're making some plan to set something off. And she's like, are you in position? I am indeed. I only await your command to burn back the dark. I will issue orders soon. You see the bat shadow. I'm afraid sooner has come. Yes. And then we see Batman and Robin flying overhead. I see that it has. She's just standing there to meet him. Next, total eclipse of the night. And this was just, I was just like, I'm loving this. In my opinion, Batman is best when it's about the villain. My favorite Batman stories have always been Batman stories that explore who the villain is. We all know who Batman is, right? Now, everyone has their own views of what they like about Batman. Sergeant Bats, I will tell you, it's all about throwing batarangs. Okay? He loves Batman throwing batarangs. Okay, cool. Well, there's batarangs in this book. He also likes detective. I'm going to be detecting all the time. That's fine. I'm not big on those things. There's many aspects to Batman that I appreciate. But from a storytelling sense, I like the psychoanalysis of the villain. If you've read or seen the films, I think it's Robert Harris, the guy who did Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is, to me, a good Batman film. I know it has nothing to do with Batman, except if you think about it, it kind of does. Hannibal Lecter is a character in Arkham, right? Imagine Clarice is Batman. Now, she doesn't go around throwing batarangs and doing stuff like that, but the figuring out the psychoanalysis of the villains and what makes them tick and why they're doing things that they're doing, that's what I love about a good Batman story, and this story is doing the same thing. Now, this is not an atypical Batman villain. She's very physical. Most Batman villains, historically at least, in the past have been like nut job loonies like Joker, Scarecrow, Riddler, Mad Hatter, right? More modern villains are getting more physical, but I like this. We're seeing what makes her tick, what motivates her to be the villain. Why is she against Batman? And then Batman has to figure out what they're doing, what their next move is, and find a way to stop them. So I very much enjoyed this. I've been on the Peter Tomasi bandwagon since he started. He's even made me like Robin, which I'm not a big Robin person. It's great. This is a solid comic. I don't want to sell you on this is going to be the greatest comic you've ever read, but it is one of the top comics that are out right now, and it doesn't drop the ball. That's the thing. It's just consistently good. Just you can trust every issue. I'm going to get some fun out of this. It's not going to waste my time. You're getting good art. You're getting respect for the reader. You're getting a pro who knows what he's doing. There's no political BS. There's nothing but just solid Batman Detective Comics. And that's all I have to say on this. Hopefully you are... Oh, Jesus. Oh, hey, Superman Year One. Hopefully you're enjoying this. If you're not, hopefully I'm selling you on this. Eric Breen, you better be getting this before you're getting Nightwing. You keep saying I'm selling you on Nightwing. This is way better than Nightwing. Everyone, thanks for watching. Put your comments below. Say hello. I like to hear from everyone. I like to meet new people. If you're a big fan of Batman, if you're not a big fan of Batman, if you like something else, if you say, hey, Ash, you should be reading this. I'm really in love with this book. By all means. I like to... A lot of the stuff that I'm reading, a lot of stuff I'm talking about is because I've met other people who got me onto things. And, like Sergeant Bats, I'm appreciating this artist because I listened to him talk. That's kind of what to me is exciting about comics, besides just reading them, is discussing the craft and the hobby and getting other perspectives and, having it change your view, perhaps, and maybe appreciate something that before you wouldn't, or discover something. I never would have discovered Hawkman if it wasn't for doing these videos and watching other YouTubers and so forth. I never would have discovered that book. By the way, hashtag read Hawkman. So thanks for watching. I'll keep blabbering forever, and I'll see you next time. It's time for another Jail 8 webcomic, number 34 by Yale Stewart. Did I stutter? I said no little boys were allowed on this playground. No boys, huh? Is that why you're still allowed? 'Cause your hair makes you look like a girl? Watch it. Oh, snap. You're just jealous 'cause that cowl makes you look bald. Oh, snap. My cowl is awesome. Only a baby would think that's cool. Oh, wait, look who I'm talking to. I'll show you who's a baby, Ginger Locks. Bring it home, Bat Mite. Stop.